Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. It's your girl Janae, and this is my birthday set video. So I celebrated my birthday on Sunday, November 20th, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. So first we're going to run through some things that I used in this set. I had to use this color A16 and get it on my nails right now because it reminded me of cranberries and it's perfect for fall and Thanksgiving time, and I just absolutely loved it. So this coffee time set, I will also be using a few colors out of here. So these are also autumn shades or colors, browns, really pretty. This 622 is this really gorgeous gold color. And I kind of did a trial run of what I wanted to do on my nails. So that's what that was looking like. I'll also be using Zule's blooming gel. It is amazing. I love her blooming gel. It works so good. And then I'll also be using my clear Nail Matrix XXL No C Curve coffin tips. I did my thumb off camera just to get ahead of the game a few days before I actually did the full set. And of course I'm using my Nail Matrix glue. I still have products on my hands, so I had troubles getting these to stick because of the existing product, but I eventually got the tips on there. I did not cut them down at all. I left them full length and I sported that look for the whole weekend. I had to trim them down today because today's Monday and I had to work, unfortunately. So I type all day, or I type not all day, but I type quite a bit at work, and I just can't hang with the long nails while I'm trying to do that. But I really love them and I did not want to cut them down, and I don't know, they were just giving me very simple, very queen, very birthday, very sexy vibes, you know. I really love doing this set. And I wanted everything. I wanted them blingy. I wanted the flowers. I love this flower design. I also did this design, the flower design that I do on my ring finger with I did this on the press-on set that I did with my collab with the Nail Genie SC, so go check her out. She's really cool as well. And also, so on my thumb and on my ring finger, it was my accent finger that I did the flower on. So I'm going to go ahead and marble this with gel polish. And I took the basic colors, so the 3 colors that I showed you before from the Coffee Time collection, and then I also took the A16 and the 622 and just went in and accented the marble with these glitter polishes, and oh my goodness. And this blooming gel works so well. Everything just started spreading and blending together, sometimes a little more quickly than I expected, or when there was more than what I anticipated. Yeah, this stuff works amazing. So after I go ahead and I get everything on this marble nail the way that I like, I go ahead and cure it for 60 seconds, and it's just so stunning. Oh my gosh. But then after that, I ombrayed this nail. So for my other 3 nails, I did a reverse French, but for this marble nail, I wanted to do ombre on these, and this ombre turned out so pretty. But I left this part in real time because I found it the most satisfying. I just really love working with polygel. And you can see me pat away. So I pat quite a bit, but with this bigger brush, it's so nice because I actually like the absorbency of the alcohol in this brush. And I can work with the polygel a lot longer because the brush holds more alcohol. So without it feeling sticky. And I can also not only pat the polygel very easily and very quickly because of the size of the brush, but I can also move it or drag the polygel down the nail without it getting stuck to my brush. So I really love this brush. I cannot explain it. I might even have to get a couple more for backup. I thought it might be a little bit too big because it's a size 16 gel brush, but it works wonderful, and the bristles are the perfect consistency. So the brush is, it's not so hard that you can't move the polygel with it, but it's firm enough where, like I mentioned, you can drag the polygel and it's it doesn't get stuck in your brush. So I really enjoyed that. As you can see, I just kind of build it up here and I make sure, you'll see me even it out and make sure the polygel is in a straight line before I go in and start to move the polygel or drag it down my finger at a little slope here. And that's because I want the Le Coral color that I used for Makartt to, like, again, this, I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I could use this color on like every single set or just use it as a full set on my hands, and I need to do that because again, it's just such a gorgeous nude, like for anybody, for all skin types. It just looks so beautiful. And it's a little bit transparent, but the way that it ombres, it just helps blend everything together very seamlessly. So highly recommend this color from Makartt, even if you don't buy their products or get anything else from them. Le Coral is just gorgeous, but you can see that it's just blending down very nicely. And of course, make sure to clean up your sides and around your cuticle. And once I'm done blending this in, I do go ahead and cure it for 60 seconds. And then when I'm done curing for 60 seconds, I go in with my second bead and I do the exact same thing. So I'm going to let you watch from here and I'll be back in a minute. So now that I have both layers of the ombre color cured, then I am going to go ahead and go in with some clear. So I tried to mostly drag the clear back towards the apex area so that it's a lot thicker and keep that area nice and built up. And then when I put the polygel down the middle, I just do one single bead and then I flatten it out a little bit on the top. And then I start dragging it down each side. So that way I know like I'm kind of starting from the middle or the middle is my starting point. So I just drag it down both sides just like you see here. And it's, yeah, like this set just, oh my gosh, I can't even explain how much I really, really enjoyed this set. It took me all day to do this one hand. Now I only did one hand with really long nails because I need to function in life. And it's actually my daughter's birthday today, the day that I'm posting this, November 21st. A little bit of a backstory. So I went into labor on my 25th birthday, and I had her the following day. So the following morning, super crazy, right? Like it was just the craziest time. But I was actually kind of trying to have her like on my birthday. I wanted to have her on my birthday, and I wanted her to come on my birthday, but it's okay. She got the day after, and I still love her. So, but we went to the mall on Saturday, and I got to show off my nails, and I got compliments on them and all that good stuff. So, this is me just building up that first layer. So right now I'm just trying to get the shape of what I want for my reverse French, and this is what all of them are looking like after I have filed around and crisped up the shape a little bit around that smile line. So then right now I'm just going in and I'm putting a layer of base coat down, and this base coat is just going to secure my when I know I'm going to do a reverse French, I don't put base coat all the way down my nail initially. I only put base coat underneath where I'm actually going to do the Frenchie, and with the polygel, and then I put base coat down and put either other polygel on top of it. But in this case, I am going to encapsulate the design that I wanted to do. So I'm going in with this A40. It's like a really nice light brown nude, and I will try to leave everything linked down below. But I really, really love this this coffee time set. If you just are looking for a few autumn colors or your browns or your nudes, I highly recommend. So here's what it's looking like after 2 coats of that color. And then I'm taking that 622, that gold color, and I'm going around just to give my smile line some depth. So I'm just going around the curve of that smile line. I didn't want it too thick because of the lines that I will be doing next. And so I just really wanted it around that smile line, and then just a little bit farther down and a little bit thicker around there. And then now I'm going in with that brown. So I started on the pinky, excuse me, to kind of set the tone and see where I wanted to start that brown line. And if I liked it, then I could just wipe it off because it's the smallest nail. If I didn't like it, I could just wipe it off. So, but I did end up liking it. So the stripes have really been a thing. Like it's like stripes are the new fall, like I don't know, but I think it's really pretty and it's really cool. So that's what I decided to do. And instead of a bunch of stripes, I was going to do like thin brown lines and then thicker red lines with this A16 and then gold on the end and things like that. Kind of like I did in that practice nail at the beginning of the video. And I was like, no, just do the brown, do the red a little bit thicker, and then do the gold even thicker at the end. And that ended up turning out pretty cute. So you're just going to see random clips from here of how the gel polish looks and how I'm doing my lines. I finally broke out my nice, my purple bling diamond here, my big diamond to do nail art on, and it did make things way more simple, and it helped me stay in frame. So this is what it's looking like after the red, and then I'll show you a little bit of how I go in with the gold on the tip. And this gold just really set off this whole set. Like, as much as I like that A16 red color, like this 622 was just beautiful. I have like 6 of these 20-piece sets of Beetles, and I was just randomly going through my gel polish drawer. So these fit really nicely. Actually, all 6 sets fit perfectly in one of these little drawers or caddy things that I got from Michael's. I was really happy about that I could fit all of them in the drawer, and I didn't have to keep the separate boxes for all of these different sets. This is also why I have a lot of Beetles like base coat and things like that, or why I use their base coat a lot, because I also have like multiple, like from all of those sets you get like the base, the matte, and the shiny top coat. So I have a ton of their stuff. But this is just, oh man, this is really stunning. I was kind of sad I had to put clear polygel over it. Now, the clear polygel was a little bit cloudy, and I don't think it's because I didn't use base coat. I still used alcohol with this, but you'll see here in a second that after, like, once you have the clear on your nail and you have it patted down, it does start to clear up. It's no longer cloudy, but I had to do multiple layers of the clear to build up the nail. So you could kind of see in the middle nail here how it's looking very, very clear, and you can literally almost see through it, like you don't even know there's polygel on top of it. But I had to keep going in, like I mentioned, with additional layers so my nails weren't flat and for extra strength. And I feel like that's what did it. I think if you have to use one layer of clear, it turns out really pretty and looks really great. But when you have to start going in with multiple layers, yeah, it just wasn't my favorite thing. But here I am, you know, smacking the camera with my brush, you know, hitting my phone with my brush. The brush is actually pretty long because it has like one of those little dotting tools on the end, but yeah, so this is what everything is looking like before I've filed. And so I'm just going in with a lint-free wipe and some alcohol and wiping off that tacky layer before I break out my nail drill. I did file off camera because I was all over the place, especially with these really long nails. I would have never been able to stay in frame. So now that the nails are all filed and buffed, I am ready to start putting on my bling and doing the flowers. So I did the flower first on my ring finger, and this is me just taking a dotting tool. I usually put a little bit of rhinestone glue on my palette, and then I use a dotting tool to put it in a very specific area, especially when I'm trying to do things like nail art and work around a certain area. I just wanted one rhinestone. I didn't want to put everything on my nail at once. Now this nail also looks shiny because I put down a layer of base coat so that way the petals to these flowers stick to it. If you've ever worked with this 3D carving gel, then you know that it doesn't stick very well to matte surfaces. It just doesn't like to stick. So it's hard to explain. It's really pliable and it's easy to work with in your hands, and I actually like my hands like kind of warm it up a little bit, which makes it more workable and easier to work with because it's warmer and it's still like some form of gel, right? So it's just easier to move once it's been warmed up using the warmth of your hand. But I just now I got this off of Amazon because I just wanted like a white 3D sculpting gel. And I will admit that after it's all cured, you can see that it's actually a little bit dingy. It's kind of like if you've had whites and you've washed them a few times in the washer and dryer. Even with bleach, they tend to, you know, fade over time. That's kind of what it looked like. So it wasn't really yellow, but it was a little dingy. So that's my honest review about that product. But still turned out really pretty. So I did go in with a matte top coat, and I left the flowers matte looking. I wanted them to be protected, right? I just didn't want that product out in the open, knowing that I was going to be leaving the house and doing some birthday activities and things like that with my daughter. So we went to the Galleria here in St. Louis, and it was really fun. She wanted to go with her friends, you know, she's 11 now. So we're getting in those fun years where we like shopping and eating out at the mall and doing all that fun stuff. And it was completely her idea. She had everything planned out. She had a whole birthday list. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to start leaving my Cash App down below so you guys can donate to my channel and also my activities for my kids. They're just getting bigger now. So things that they want are just more expensive, like naturally, right? But after I go in and put top coat, now I did take a small brush and I went around all of the nail art. I did the same thing on my thumb, except for I put that A16 on the flower on my thumb a little bit before I put the matte top coat on, and that turned out really pretty. But I had already been spending all day on this set, and I did not want to take a minute longer. So here coming up, you will see what this set looked like outside. The bling in the middle on my ring, on my middle finger was just definitely giving me like scepter vibes, like queen scepter, like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it, but I have all this bling and I need to use it. So this is what I came up with. This was me outside at the gas station while I was getting gas before we went to the mall. And then you also see what they look like while I was sitting in the car waiting for our friends. And oh my gosh, I just could not stop looking at these nails. Even though I cut them down, I left all of the nail art on there and they're just so blingy and so beautiful. And oh, but I hope you enjoyed today's video and thank you so much for coming and watching me do my birthday set. I will see you next time.